Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Masa Tutorials. Please do all to subscribe to this channel so that whenever I post any video, you'll be the first to receive it. Alright, today we are dealing with what? BC 2022 what? Solutions, right? The BC they wrote this year, which is very simple. So kindly follow me gradually as we solve this questions. We are starting with what? Section A. That's the objective what? Test. Alright. They are very simple. They are not difficult. So question 1. They are saying write. You should write 1930.54 in standard form. They are telling us to write what? Write 1930.54 in standard form. And we know that in standard form, another name for standard form is what? Scientific notation. Right? Scientific notation. So another name for standard form is scientific notation. And it's always expressed in a form, you can say that A times 10 to the power n. A times 10 to the power what? N. Or we can write it as A point B times 10 to the power what? N. Where n is what? It's an integer, right? Aha. So we can start here. Alright, so let's begin. Write 1930.54 in standard form. So we want to express this ordinary number in this what? Two forms here, right? And you have to note that if you want to express an ordinary number in standard form, make sure that the point must be between what? The first and second non-zero what? Numbers. Or we can say that the first and second counting numbers, or the first and second natural numbers. Right. So I have 1930.54. Now, when you are moving the point from right to left, you have to take note that the power of 10 must be what? Positive. From right to what? Left. The power of 10 must be what? Positive. And you are moving the point from left to right, you have to take note that the power of 10 must be what? Negative. It must be negative. Right. So now here, we have to make sure that this point, it must be between the first and second non-zero numbers. Numbers which are not zero, they are called non-zero numbers. So then that means you can check as in, I'm moving this point 1, 2, then 3. So it means that I've moved this point what? 3 times to the what? To the left. And which is what? Positive. How many times I moved the point what? 3 times. So then I'll get 1.93054. Don't bring the point again because you've moved that, right? So we get 1.93054. Then we have our times 10 to the power what? Positive 3. So a number standing on its own is what? It's a positive number. So there is no need to bring the plus sign. So we have this. So 1.93054 times 10 to the power what? 3. So if you check the options, we have what? Option what? B as the answer. Option B as the answer. Option B as the answer. So I'll be solving the first 5 questions. So our next video, we solve the first 5 questions till what? The 40th what? Question. Then we move on. So 5, 5, 5, 5. Proceed. So when I'm done with the first 5 questions, we end there, right? Alright. So we end our tutorials on the 5th question. Alright. So that's it. So if you want to write 1930.54 in standard form, then we have it as what? 1.93054 times 10 to the power of 3. Then our answer or our option, you must what? Shade is what? Option B. Option B, which is 1.93054 times 10 to the power 3. So always take note. If you move the point from right to left, the power of 10 is positive. Likewise, if you move the point from left to right, the power of 10 must be what? Negative. So take note of that. This one is very, 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 very important. All right. Thank you. So watch it carefully. All right. So let's move on to our next question, which is question two. Our next question two. Our next question two. So question two, it says what? For what value? They are asking us for what value of x is 3 to the power x equals 81? Question mark. So they are asking us to find the value of x if this 3 to the power x or 3 exponent x or 3 index what x must be equal to what? 81, right? So now let's see how best we can solve this question. So I have my 3 to the power x, which must be equal to 81, right? Then we have to take note that can we change 81 to a base of what? 3. You understand that? 81 to the base of what? 3. Yes. Because we are going to find how many times will I multiply what? 3. 3 times how many? How many times? So 3 times what? 3 times what? 3 times what? How many times are we multiplying 3 by itself, right? To get what? This 81. Right. So 3 times what? 3 times how many? How many numbers? How many? How many? By itself, the same number 3. Do you understand that? So now I have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. We are multiplying itself. Do you understand that? We are multiplying itself. We are multiplying itself. How many times will we multiply 3 by itself to get this 81? So we can see that we have to multiply 3 by itself what? 4 consecutive what? Times. Because 3 times 3 we get 9. Then 3 times 3 we also get 9. Then 9 times 1 we get what? 81. Right. So it means that then I can write this as what? 3, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I get 3 to the power what? 4. 3 exponent 4. So it means that with this 81, I can replace it or I can substitute that by what? 3 to the power what? 4. So now we can proceed and write it as such. So now, then I can write 3 to the power x equals what? 3 to the power what? 4. Right. Then now, we can see that they have the same base. And from the laws of indices, if they have the same base, we can what? Equate what? The exponent. So now I can say that I can cancel out here. Then I'll say that x must be equal to what? 4 here. So x must be equal to 4, which is very, very simple. So therefore, or hence, the value of x. So therefore, the value of x is 4. That's our positive 4. All right. Watch it carefully. All right. Then question 3. Let's move on to question 3. Question 3. We are proceeding to question 3. Question 3, they are telling us that what a car travels 36 kilometers in an hour, right? Find speed in meters per second. All right. So a car travels 36 kilometers in an hour, right? So we should find its speed in meters per what? Second. So now, how best can we solve this guy? All right. So now let's see. Here we want the speed in what? Meters per what? Second here, right? So now then I can say that let me change my kilometers to what? Meters. So I have my 1,000 meters equals what? 1 kilometer, right? So now then my 36 kilometers must be equal to, let's see, question mark. We don't know. So now we cross multiply. So I have my 1,000 times my 36 equals my question mark times my 1. So here, question mark times 1 is the same thing as question mark, which must be equal to 1,000 times 36. I get my 36 what? 1,000, which is what? Meters, right? All right, so this one is my what? Is my distance, right? That's my distance. I've changed it from what? Kilometers to what? Meters, and that's the convention, right? All right, so that's a conversion from kilometers to meters. We have to take note that 1,000 what meters is equivalent to what? 1 kilometer. All right, so let's see. And we also know that an hour to seconds, we can say that 3,600 seconds equals what? 1 hour. 3,600 seconds equals what? 1 hour. Because 60 seconds multiplied by what? 60 minutes. Then we get to what? 3,600 seconds. All right. So we've changed that. Now we want that speed. And we know that speed or average speed is equal to what? The total distance covered over the total time taken. So average speed equals what? The total distance covered over the total time taken. So my average speed, so I can write it as AS equals my total distance covered, which is 36,000 meters over my total time taken, which is what? 3,600 what? Seconds, right? So now these two zeros cancels that. So I have my 360 over my what? 36, right? Then I can say that this one into itself one, then into this guy, which gives me what? 10. So I have my 10. Then I'll get my meters per second. Meters per second. Now, if you don't bring this stroke right, then you can write it as my average speed equals what? 10 meters, then s to the power negative 1. Take note of that. If you don't bring this slash here, then you can write it as that. But immediately you bring this slash, then you don't bring this negative sign there, right? So take note of that. So 10 meters per second is the same thing as that. All right. So now then we can say that our option is option A. Our option is option A. Option A. So kindly watch it carefully. A car travels 36 kilometers in an hour. Find its speed in meters per what? Second. So then you have to change the distance, because here we have the distance, then we have what? The time taken. The total distance covered is given, then the total time taken. But now here the examiner wants what? The answer, the speed of the answer must be in what? Meters per second. So you have to do some necessary calculations here. You have to change the meters to what? You have to change the kilometers to meters, then the hour given to what? Seconds. Then after that, you what? You find for the average speed. And you know that the average speed is always equal to the total distance covered over the total time taken. Then you do your basic calculations here, which is very, very what? Simple. So kindly watch it carefully here. All right, so let's move on to our question four. Let's move on to our question four. Question four. Question four. Question four. Question four, which says what? If and only if. Question four. It says if n on 100 must be equal to 10.5. Find the value of n. So now let's see how best we can solve this question. If n over 100 is equal to 10.5, find the value of n. So I have my n over 100, which must be equal to 10.5, right? So this one is a terminating decimal. So we can say that that's what? A rational number. A rational number can always be expressed as a vulgar, which is what? A fraction, right? So now, then it's a terminating decimal, which means the decimal is what? It has what? An ending what? Decimal number C, right? So that's zero point 0.5. So that's it. So 10.5, that's a rational number. So I can divide it by what? 1, right? Then I do my cross product here, which is the cross multiplication. I do that. So which means n multiplies 1. So I have my n times 1, which must be equal to 100 multiplies that. So 100 times my 10.5. So I have my n times 1. It is not 1n. Take note of that. It is n because the invisible number is what? 1. So we write what? N, which must be equal to 100 times 10.5. Now take note. This one is 100, right? You are multiplying it by a decimal. Now, multiplying it, the point will shift to the what? To the right hand side. To shift to the right hand side, right? To be irrespective to the number of zeros present here. So take note, if I multiply it by 1,000, the point will shift to the what? To the right hand side. How many times? 3 consecutive what? Times. So this time around, the zeros are what? 2. So the point will shift to the what? Right. How many times? 2 consecutive times. So I have my 10.5. So I move it 1, then 2. So my point is here. So I have my 0, then my 0. So I get my 105, then 0.0. It's the same thing as my 1050, as that 1050. This one is the same thing as that. So then I get my 1050.0, or you can better still write it as well. 1050. You are done with it. Very, very simple. So when we check inside, we can see that our answer is option A. Our answer is option A. Kindly go through properly. All right, our last question, then we end our tutorials, our first 5 questions here. So question 5, they give us percentage question here. That's under profit and loss. So profit and loss, he says that question 5. If a trader, made a profit, of what? 10% in selling a shirt, right? In selling a shirt for 44 Ghana cedis. Find the cost price. You have to find the cost price. If a trader made a profit of 10% in selling a shirt for 44 Ghana cedis, find the cost price. Now we can use this one, we can use the formula, which is very, very simple. Now, take note. We have to find the cost price. So we can say that the cost price is equal to 100% all on what? 100%, then plus, because this one is profit, we do it plus. So 100% plus my what? My profit percent. Then we multiply that by what? My selling price. See, cost price is equal to 100% to about 100% plus my profit percent times my what? Selling price. Or if you want the selling price, because of the cost price, this the whole